Hello everyone, welcome back to my Max channel. Today is the statistics class number 3. This is my third video for statistics. Still remember, for the previous video I did ask you to attempt one question. Have you tried? So if yes, then we will discuss today, and it's good that you try before I discuss. So today's video is actually focused on basic statistic question. So shall we get started with the class right now? Okay, have fun. Hello everyone, welcome back to my Max channel. Still remember, for the previous video I think I asked you to try this question. Have you tried? It's okay, let's go through together. The table below shows a set of integers arranged in ascending order. So have a look at the table. You have the integers 1, m minus 1, 5, m plus 3, 8, 10, and the frequency you are having 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1. Alright, so let's see what the question asks you to do. You are having a set of integers in ascending order, arranged in ascending order, right? Can you see the table right now? So there are how many integers? 6 integers, and the frequency also you got 6 frequency. So express the median in terms of m. So now we have 6 integers in yellow color, and the frequency is in blue color. Alright, so we have 6 frequency, and then we have 6 integers, but the integers is given in terms of unknown, which are 1, m minus 1, 5, m plus 3, 8, and 10. So now the question say express the median of the set of integers in terms of m. So okay, so it looks like hot question because you need to apply to the unknown. So let's see how we apply. So when we apply, that means we are actually doing hot question, and then we will find the median of the set of integers in terms of m. Okay, before we can solve the values of m for the section B, right? Okay, so let's figure out how to solve, express the median of the set of integers in terms of m. So it seems like it's already arranged in ascending order, so you don't have to rearrange. So now for median, you have to know that for median, if the number of data is even, okay, how to find the median? And if the number of the data is odd, how to find the median? Do you still remember the shortcut? Now let's see the frequency first. We have 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. So we need to check whether the number of data is odd or even. Is 10. 10 is even or odd? Is even number, right? So it seems like the frequency is 10. So that means we have 10 data. So the number of data is 10, which is even number. So I actually would like to introduce to you the right way to solve the median is actually we use the formula. Now please focus to the concept. So if number of data is, let's say it's odd first, okay, odd, example 3 or 5 or 9, number of data odd, okay, odd or even will actually produce different way of doing median. So let's say is odd. So the way to find the median if the number of data is odd is you take the number, right? You have to follow the way. You take the number of data, okay, which is n, and then you, because you know median is always at the middle, so you take n plus 1 divided by 2, and then there is a th. So that means is the n plus 1 over 2 term that is called the data at the middle. Okay, if the number of data is even, like example we're having 10 now, right? So we will take the number of data which is even, we divide by 2, okay? So if you divide by 2, let's say 10 divided by 2, you have the answer which is 5. So we actually call as the fifth term. So the fifth term. Okay, on top of that, besides finding the n over 2, which is the fifth term, you also have to plus 1, which is the sixth term, and you need to average out the fifth and the sixth. Alright, so it's a bit confused. So you take the nth, okay, plus the n over 2 plus 1, and then you plus and you divide by 2. That means you find the average for the two data at the middle, because it's even, right? So if it is even, you should have two data at the middle. So that's how you do. So example we discuss, we are having 10, number of data is 10, and 10 is even number. So I will take 10 divided by 2, which is the fifth term, and I will go to the table and refer the fifth term, and 5 plus 1 is the sixth term. Now let's go to the table and have a look. The fifth term and the sixth term, and then we need to sum up these two terms, and we have to divide by 2. We have to find the average because both of them are at the middle of the data, right? So now if you look at the table, now let me explain to you. The first term is actually 1. Alright, the second is m minus 1. Clear? Now let me explain to you again. In a set of data, normally a set of data like this set of data, we have 10 data, we say 10 observation. So a set of data with 10 observation, or here that is a general formula, n observation. Alright, so we use a generalization to explain the concept. So when we say n, it actually refer to number of data. Okay, so if the n observation means n data, and then measure is arranged in order, it has been arranged in order, it must be arranged in order. Okay, either in ascending order or descending order is okay, but normally we prefer ascending order. Okay, alright, so please follow the rules. Ascending order is better. Then if it's already ascending order, already arranged for n observation, then we can make a generalization, we can make a conclusion that if the number of data is even or odd, it will actually produce a different median, right? Alright, okay, so if the n is let's say the n is, we have even and odd, right? So if let's say n is odd, okay, if odd, then again I highlight to you the concept. So the median will be n plus 1 divided by 2, right? Okay, so please memorize the concept. N plus 1. Okay, the whole thing n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, that is how you solve the median problem when you have many data. So you can actually work out the answer very fast. So if you're having odd, you just take the number plus 1 divided by 2 and then th data observation. Do you understand this? Okay, let's say you have 9 data. So the 9 is the n is the 9. So 9 plus 1 divided by 2. So that means the middle data, which is median, is at the 9 plus 1 divided by 2, which is the 10th, divided by 2, which is the 5th. Okay, so the 5th, that's how you work out. If the number of data is even, then the median, you need to find the average for the middle term plus the plus 1 for that middle term. Do you understand? Example, we are having the n is 10, right? So the median will be the 10 over 2, which is the 5th term, and the 10 over 2 plus 1, which is the 5 plus 1, which is the 6th term. So that means you need to find the observation, or we call as data, which is the 5th and the 6th term, and then you have to plus the 2, and then you have to divide by 2. Do you understand? Okay, it's n over 2 plus n over 2 plus 1, and you divide by 2. Alright, we actually call as observation, meaning that we are focusing to which term. Okay, so the term for median is you take the n divided by 2 plus the n divided by 2 plus 1, and you divide by 2. Yeah, there are so many divided by 2. I hope you don't confuse. So that is how you find the median when the number of data is big and the number of data is odd or even. After you check, you apply the concept, then you can work out the median very fast. Alright, I hope you can pick up this concept. It's very useful. Right? Okay, make sure you are clear about this concept. After you understand, you must memorize it. So again, I highlight to you, when the number of data is odd, the way to find median is n plus 1 divided by 2, and if it's even, you have to find the average of n over 2 plus n over 2 plus 1. So we are having even right now because we are having 10, right? The n is 10, so we will find the fifth one plus the 10 over 2, isn't it 5? 5 is the fifth one, right? So okay, basically when you do the median, you have to sum up the frequency. That is the first step, right? And then if you get the even number, remember what I say, you take the even number, you divide by 2, right? Still remember, you divide by 2, you get 5. That means the median is the fifth term. Besides that, you have to take the n over 2 plus 1 because there are two terms at the middle, right? So be careful when it is even, you need to do so. You take, okay, 10 over 2 plus 10 over 2 plus 1. That means you are going to take the fifth term and the sixth term, alright, and then you average, you divide by 2. You find a midpoint between them, right? So let's go to the table. Some of you are not sure how to read the n observation. Let me teach you. This is the first one. So the first term I can say is 1. Okay? The first one, the first term. And then the second to the fourth term, alright, is m minus 1. Okay? That is so-called how to read. The second term to the fourth term. Don't read wrongly. And the fifth term is 5, right? Only one term. And the sixth is n plus 3. And the sixth is n plus 3. That is a term that we want. We want the fifth and the sixth, right? Alright, and the 7 and the 8 you can read, but I only want the fifth and the sixth, right? So that means the median is the fifth and the sixth. I have to take these two, and then I just find the average for these two. That will be my median. So because the question asking the median in terms of m, so you take the fifth one, which is 5, and the sixth one, which is m plus 3, and you take these two and you plus and divide by 2. Alright, okay, I hope you understand. So I explain to you again. 10 over 2 plus 10 over 2 plus 1, that is how you write. So I'm finding the average of the fifth term plus the, okay, fifth plus 1, the 5 plus 1 is the sixth term. So that means I will take the 5 and the sixth term. The fifth term is 5 and the sixth term is m plus 3. I take these two, I average them, I divide by 2. So I will get m plus 8 or 8 plus m, the same, divided by 2. After divide by 2, I will get 4 plus m over 2, right? Clear or not? Do you understand what am I doing? I hope so. I speak as slowly as possible so that you can follow well. So that is what the question 1. Find the median in terms of m. So you can write your answer m plus 8 divided by 2, or you can write simpler answer as you want to write as m over 2 plus 4 is okay, can be accepted, up to you, so long as you are using the right concept. So again, I show you how to write the answer. So median is the fifth term plus the sixth term divided by 2, and the fifth term is 5, and the sixth term is m plus 3, and you divide by 2. So the answer is 8 divided by 2 is 4, and plus the m over 2 that is so-called the answer as in terms of the m. Now let's proceed to the next one. The question asking about the values of the m, right? Okay, so now we are going to solve the values of m, possible values of m. How to find the possible values of m? So we need to think what are the possible values of m. So let's think together. So if you look at the table, the possible values of m, for the first one, okay, you are having the integer 1. For the second one, the m minus 1, it shows that the m must be more than 1, right? It should be more than 1. Why? Because if not, you will get 1 minus 1, which is less than 1. I hope you understand. So m must be a number which is more than 1. So let's work out. We can try and error. So if you use m equal to 2, you try to substitute, it's actually not logic also. And if you use 3, it seems like it's logic, right? So you can test all the possible integer of the m. So let's see. If you use a 1, is impossible because you will make 1 minus 1 become 0. If you use 2, so you have 2 minus 1, which is also impossible because 2 minus 1 is still 1. So how can you have 2 1? So it should be more than 2, right? So your answer for m, it should be 3 and or 4, right? Possible values of m. Okay, using of the values of the m in B, find the possible values of the mode. Okay, possible value of mode. If the m is 3, let's say, so you will have the you have to substitute into the table, and then you can see when m equal to 3, the red color one, you will have 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 10 are the integers. And when m is 4, your integers will be 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, right? 1, 3, 5, and then 4 plus 3 is 7, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. So the mode is actually the highest frequency. And the highest frequency is 3, right? So we are having score 2 and 3. So the mode will be 2 and 3 if the m is 3 and 4, right? Okay, do you understand? So this type of question nowadays is very popular in coming exam because it's actually testing you how to use unknown to work out the answer. So you are not given all the numbers. So you are given the unknown, so you need to think, you need to figure out how to get the answer. That is so-called thinking skills, high order thinking skills, HOS, alright? So you notice that I will share more question on HOS so that you are used to the HOS question. So the answer for the mode, okay, when m is equal to 3 or 4, it will be 2 or 3. Alright, so this is the answer for question number 12, which actually looks like quite challenging, right? Alright, let's start with another question, number 13. Let's continue. So your given diagram shows some information about a set of numbers, and the numbers are given in terms of unknowns. x1, x2, x3, x4, and x5. So they gave you all the unknowns. So you must understand that for HOS question, they like to give you unknown. So actually the x1, it means a data that not given. x2 is another data. You just assume that there are a few data, 5 data given. And you don't have to know the data. You just need to know the sum. The total is 28. And the sum data square is given, alright? So the sum data square is 170. So given that x, okay, 2 equal to 8, and it is taken out from the set of data. Taken out, be careful, when taken out, the number of data will be reduced. calculate the standard deviation of the remaining numbers in the set. That means you are going to remove one of the data x2. X2 they inform you is 8, but the rest they never mention. So that means you have to calculate the standard deviation after the 8 being removed. And please take note that the sum of the x given are the sum for the original data, 5 data, right? And the sum of data square also for the 5 data. So you have to aware that when you remove the x2, you have 4 left, right? Okay, be careful. Now let's see how to do. Okay, so originally you have two versions. One is original, before you remove the 8. When you remove the 8, it becomes 4 data, right? So before that you have 5 data, right? So sum of data is 28, right? So after you remove the 8, the sum of the data will be less 8, right? So you have to take 28 minus 8. So that means in order to find the standard deviation, okay, for the new set of data after you remove the 8, you must take the sum of the data square before that, which is 28, and sum of data is 28 and sum data square is 170. You must take these two and then you have to minus out the 8 for sum of the data, and for the data square you have to minus not only just 8, you have to minus 8 square, understand? Okay, after you remove the 8, there are changes of the number of data and sum of the data. This is so-called sum of data become 28 minus 8. Clear? So now the sum of data become 20 because you throw away the 8, right? So the sum now become 20, total of the data 20, right? And the data square also 170, you have to minus 8 square, right? You have to minus 8 square because it's sum of the data square. So then you try to press your calculator, 170 minus 64. So you will get the sum of the data square, the new one, after you remove the 8, which is 106, right? Okay, so now you are having a new set of data without 8. You have only how many number? 4 number. Your sum of the data after 8 removed is actually 20, and sum data square is 106. And now you're asking to find what? Standard deviation, right? So after you got all the information after you remove the 8, now you can write down the standard deviation formula. Still remember, sum of the data square over n minus the mean square. Okay, with the square root, alright. Standard deviation must have square root. Okay, so now you can substitute the sum of the data square. Okay, 106, and then you have to divide by how many? The n now is no longer 5 because you remove one of the data. Just now you have 5 data, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you remove the 8, so the number of data become 4. So you must, when you do this kind of question, you must have a clear picture about what is going on before you remove 8 and after you remove 8. So you list out and then you try to work out carefully. So the n now is 4. So this is actually the new information after the 8 being removed, right? After that, you have to find your new mean because the mean also changed due to the sum of data and also number of data change, right? So the mean now become 20 over 4, right? 20 over 4, why 4? Because the 8 it was removed. So your mean is just 5. So now you can substitute into the standard deviation formula and you can solve the new standard deviation after remove the 8. Now you can substitute 106 is the sum of data square divided by the n, which is 4, remember, not 5, and the mean is 5 square and then square root, right? So your standard deviation, you can use a calculator to work out the answer, and then make sure your answer must be how many significant figures? Should be 4 significant figures. Okay, I'm waiting for you to give me the answer. You can press your calculator right now. Take out your calculator, press 106 divided by 4 and then minus a 5 square, and then you square root. Okay, before you square root, you have to make it equal first. Can get the answer? Okay, cannot? Okay, now if cannot, then okay, let's press together. 106 divided by 4 equal, then minus 5 square equal, then square root. Then you will see this answer, right? Are you getting the answer in fraction for new calculator? Or you get the answer in decimal? Make sure you round off according to 4 significant figures, right? So maybe you're getting this answer 1.224744871. Then please round off the answer to 4 significant figure, which is 1.225. Alright, the best answer is 1.225 for significant figure. So make sure you write the new standard deviation in 4 significant figures. So this is the answer for the new standard deviation after remove the one of the number, which is 8. Okay, so the answer is 1.225. Alright, okay, so I hope that you can understand, and we'll proceed to the next question. Now for this question, let's have a look at the table. The table below shows the marks obtained by a group of students in a competition. So the marks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the number of students are 4, 6, 2, and X, unknown again, and 1. So these are the marks for a group of students, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the frequency or number of students are 4, 6, 2, X, and 1. And then what the question asks you to do. So let's study the question first before we find the unknown X. So let's read the question. What are the minimum values of X if the min mark is more than 3? Min mark more than 3. Okay, min mark, I'm sure you know how to find mean, right? So, okay, the min mark more than 3. So you have to highlight the keywords. But the information here is minimum value of X. This is very challenging when you see minimum values of X. That's the information given by the question, which is very important. So now we will go to the table and we try to find the mean, right? So I'm sure you know how to find the mean. Now this is a formula for the mean because you have the frequency. So mean is summation or total frequency times the marks, okay, divided by total frequency. So now we are going to multiply 1 by 1. Take the frequency times the mark 1 by 1. And then you just follow the question. More than 3 is greater than 3, right? So it's inequality, right? So now let's work out the working. Okay. let's work out the working. And we will write down the working. 4 times 1, 6 times 2, then 2 times 3, then x times 4, then 1 times 5, right? Okay, so you multiply, you plus, that's called summation. 4 times 1, 6 plus 6 times 2 plus 2 times 3 plus x times 4 or 4 times x, the same, plus 1 times 5, the same, and over total frequency, right? So you plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus x plus 1 and more than 3, right? So you try to solve it. Okay, now we try to simplify carefully. Alright, so now you just you can use your calculator if you want. You can take out your calculator and then you try to multiply. Now let me show you again, so how to solve the x, because this is inequality, so it's a bit confusing to you, I guess. Okay, so let's say you have sum up frequency times the marks, okay, and then over the total frequency. So now we are going to, okay, I show you again. 1 times 4 plus 2 times 6 plus 3 times 2 plus 4 times x, alright, plus 4 times x plus 5 times 1, okay, then over total frequency. Alright, so the frequency will be 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus x plus 1, and okay, we must make it more than 3 according to the question, right? So now you can use a calculator to sum up again. So I'm waiting for you to sum up. Alright, so we just sum up the number, right? The number, the one with the 4x, we just copy down. So we have 4 plus 12 plus 6 plus 4x plus 5, okay, more than 3. Okay, before that we divide first. 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 2 plus 1, 13, right? Plus x more than 3, okay? Be careful when you do inequality. Okay, so now you sum up the number for me. So sum up carefully, okay? You have 4 plus 12, 16. 16 plus 6, 22. 22 plus 5, okay, that is 5. 27 plus 4x, right? Over 13 plus x, more than 3, right? Clear? Okay? Can follow? Can, right? So 13 plus x more than 3. Now we have to cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply carefully. Okay, so then you try to solve the x. Alright, okay. So now let's see how to get the answer. So, okay, 27 plus 4x over 13 plus x more than 3. Okay, right now we will, do you know how to cross multiply? It's not equal, it's more than, so but the way to do is just like you are doing equation, but you don't write equal, okay, write more than 27 plus 4x times 1 more than 3 times 13 plus x. Okay, then you expand carefully. So you have 27 plus 4x more than 39, right? 3 times 13, 39 plus 3x, right? So 4x and 3x you minus. So you bring the 3x to the left, so it become minus, right? Okay, or the like term, 4x minus 3x, you will get x. And then more than 39 minus 27. Remember, 39 minus 27, what you get? Okay, so you have 4 minus 3 is 1, right? X, 1x. So x is more than, okay, 39 minus 27. So you will get, okay, 12, right? Are you getting 12? Right. Okay, now, okay, you don't leave your answer like that because the question asking for minimum values of x. Now, I'm sure many of you not sure how to do for this. Now, listen. You can draw a line number. Okay. So, you start with 12, 13, 14, 15. Remember in your lower form, the teacher say you draw a circle and you draw the line to the right is greater, more than. More than is go to the right, right? The line. And make sure you draw a circle and the circle is empty one. It shows that it is not inclusive of the 12. So the minimum means the smallest value of the x should be 13. So that's how you figure out the answer. So the smallest values of x, or in other words, we call the minimum values of the x should be 13. Alright, not 12, not 14. So x should be 13. Again, I explained to you. You have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So now you draw a line number to show x more than 12. Alright, so then the number that you should consider are 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on and so forth. But because the question want the smallest values of x, so you should choose 13, right? 13 is a minimum value, or in short we call as smallest value of the x. Is that clear? Alright, clear or not? So I'm sure you now have more confidence when it comes to inequalities. So you cannot take 12, okay? Because 12 is not inclusive unless they say at least. If they change the question to at least 3, then you have to take in the 12 because at least is inclusive of the 12, right? So be careful with the more, be careful with the at least or at most. Okay, so I have teach you this one in the inequality topic, right? Okay, so again, you need to be very careful when it comes to the inequality. Okay, so there's the answer for this question. X is equal to, so the final answer, x is equal to 13. So that's all for today's lesson. I shall see you in the next video teaching. Right? Okay, that's the end of my class. Bye bye and have a nice day. Bye.